Hello everybody, it's Jonathan Taylor here on Views of the Salisbury Grinch on Pack 14. With me today is Mike MCCready. It's good to have you here, Mike.
Thank you, sir,
Appreciate you being here with me. Give us a little bit of information about yourself, your background, education, and what it is that you've done down in Somerset County.
I'm born and raised in 1958 in a little village, I guess they call it, of Rehoboth. A lot of people probably don't know where that is. We don't have any beach, but it's between Marion and Pocomoke. And I graduated from Crisfield High School. I married my wife. She's from Crisfield, Betsy Maddox, and she graduated down there. And we've got 3 kids. We've raised them in the county. We've lived in the county our whole life. I'm dabbled in working on the water. I still have an active card. A member of the NRA, the National Wild Turkey Federation. Hunting is a big part of what we love to do, especially most specifically deer hunting and turkey hunting. Member of the Farm Bureau, member of DPI, member on the board of directors of the Lower Shore Salvation Army in Crisfield, on the board of directors of the Lower Shore Enterprises, on Shore Up board of directors, and I'm just completing my 2nd term, so this is my 8th year as county commissioner. So that experience in schooling and hunting, and I have a farm, so I have a poultry farm between Marion and Hudson's Corner. We have 8 houses, so I'm just a hard-working young man. So I know I don't look like it at 51, but I'm young at heart. So I always want to say that I'm a Christian. It might not mean a lot to some people, but everywhere I go, that's what I want to say. I'm on pastor's council at my church, and so we're well-rounded, we think. So we have a lot to offer for the residents of District 38A.
Mike, what are some of the challenges that people in 38A are facing right now that you would like to fix if you were elected?
The unemployment rate is fairly high. The farmers and watermen are having a tough time. And I know we hear a lot about farmers and watermen, but also small businesses are struggling to make it with overtaxing and overregulation, and the regulation on the farmers and watermen. It's just a tough time. The economy's down, and I feel because I've got 3 kids, and I'm married for 26 years. I've got 1 kid out of college, 1 kid in college, and another one in the 11th grade. So it's a struggle, and I understand what people are facing. So we need some jobs, and I'm proud to say, as a county commissioner, we've been able to do several initiatives that have brought some businesses into the county with jobs, and we've kept businesses from closing. So I have a good background in that, and I understand that's a big important part of 38A.
One of the other questions that I know that I've been hearing is the whole Martin O'Malley with the oyster bed regulations that he's been trying to put into play. What is your thoughts on that specific piece of legislation regarding the oyster beds and things like that?
I'm a card-carrying member of a commercial license, and I've oystered and I've patent tongued, and I'd love to do it, and I'd still be doing it, that and crabbing, but I'm sorry to say I'm just not good enough at it. The guys that do it, I have the utmost respect for. They're some of the most honest, hardworking people you're ever going to meet. The oyster regulations are making it tough. My take on it is, since the power dredging has been allowed in Somerset County, just about all the oysters in the bay are grown in Tangier Sound, in the Pocomoke Sound right now. I think last year, just about every oysterman, for the most part, that caught any oysters was in Somerset County. So my take is, don't have more sanctuaries. Take what we're doing in Somerset County and do it in other counties, because it's working. And just because you have a sanctuary, the bottom silts up, and it don't matter how many oysters you save, if they silt up and nobody keeps the bottom dredge is cultivating. And so they can try to save oysters, but they can wind up killing them all. So I think the state should not make oyster sanctuaries, but they should do what we're doing in the rest of the state. So that's my take on that.
One of the other things that people have been wondering about is a lot of the regulations with the chicken industry, the poultry. I've heard rumors about them wanting to move Purdue down to North Carolina, things like that. What is going on right now with the poultry industry down in Somerset County?
Well, I work for Purdue, and I want to make it clear that I'm not allowed to speak for Purdue. They have their own spokesman. So what I'm saying is not a reflection of Purdue's thoughts or attitudes. But certainly some of the regulations that have come out has drastically reduced, almost eliminated the number of new poultry houses that can be built. It is so burdensome and so outrageous. I think I would be a perfect fit where I have a farm, and it's a big farm. And with the programs that the state has out, I have all that in place on my farm. So I would be a natural fit between MDE, MDA, and the poultry industry, DPI, and the poultry companies themselves, and the farmers. So I live it and I breathe it, and I've been doing it since 1964. So it is tough, and we can get in there and work a little bit more and be proactive instead of reactive. And I'm not saying we can get some of this totally removed, but we can ease some of these regulations and it allow us once again be a business that thrives. I mean, we're thriving, and I don't know if anybody's going to leave, but certainly we've got to ease the tensions. It's a lot of tension between farmers and conservationists, and I think I would be very good at bringing both sides together. And if you work together, you can get a lot more accomplished than you can if you're pulling apart.
You've served 2 terms on Somerset County as a commissioner. What happened that made you be like, you want to take that next step into a higher office? I mean, what have you seen that's like, I'm going to get involved?
One thing is being a commissioner. I relate this as like being in baseball. When you get drafted, most people go to the Shorebirds if you're with the Orioles, and then you move your way on up through the minor leagues, and eventually you reach Camden Yards. And I think that's the same way with being a delegate or a senator. I really feel strongly, number one, they should either be a municipal elected official and or a county elected official before they move to Annapolis. Learning from the ground up. We're on the receiving end from Annapolis. So you know and you feel what happens when things are voted on. When it comes down, the buck stops with the county and the taxpayers and the towns. So just going to Annapolis as your first elected official position, when you pass something and something's passed and you vote for it or you don't fight it, you don't realize what effect that has down there. So just in this year, the highway user revenues, it's just with the poultry regulation, the farming regulations on small businesses, it all trickles down to the county. So that's one reason I'm stepping up, and I think I'm a consensus builder. You don't hear much negativity out of Somerset County because we work together, Republicans and Democrats. We don't all vote one way. We don't always vote the same way. So you get more done, like I said a while ago, working together instead of pulling apart. So I think I offer a lot to 38A. In the 8 years we've been able to drop the tax rate, and we've been able to move the county forward, and we've supported the school systems. I'm proud to say that we were the only one, the lower 3 counties, that didn't apply for a waiver to maintenance of effort. If you can't give kids an opportunity to get an education and keep them in school, what hope do they have? So in this day and age, that's one of the main things that we've done, and it's paying off. And so I think that's one reason why I'm stepping up to be delegate.
Do you find it hard this year? I know that you're a registered Democrat. Do you feel a backlash from a national level trickling down to the county because of that? I mean, what is your feeling? Do you feel like people going, "Oh, you're a Democrat, I'm not interested," or how are you feeling about that?
Jonathan, I don't hear much backdraft from the national. I don't. I mean, you hear some about Obama every now and then, but I hear a whole lot more, especially in our district, because it's so heavily populated with farmers and watermen, and small businesses, and so I hear some backlash about the governor, but I hear some positive things. I hear some. The schools are still number one in the country for the third year in a row, so which is a positive thing, and the governor's been able to keep the college tuition level for 4 years in a row. So having a kid in college, I understand that, but on reverse of that, he's not been very helpful or opening up to dialogue on pollution. Farmers, I hate to keep saying farmers and watermen, but he's been very hard on them in MDE and MDA, and there's going to be some backlash. But I feel positive. I don't think anybody holds me personally responsible.
True.
Being a farmer and a waterman, they might. I really feel as though a lot of those guys and gals will vote for me, even though I'm a Democrat. Not because O'Malley's a Democrat. I don't think they'll vote against me. So, there's some backlash, but I don't think as much as it's made out to be.
Yeah. If there was one thing you get elected, what would be one of the first things you get to Annapolis? Would you be like proactive in trying to get things passed, or would you just kind of sit back and just vote on what's out there?
Well, there's no I in team. So one person going up there with a group of 144, thinking he's got all the answers. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And I've always heard that you learn a lot more by listening than you do by talking. So I'm a good listener, and I'm a good speaker, and I can get consensus from both sides. But I'll be reading on the bills before I vote on them, and I've got some ideas. So I'm not going to be up there me or I or only District 38A. You build some friendships, because to get anything passed down here, we're going to have to go along with others of the state. Not just going to be us against them, because we'd lose every time. So if we give on some things, we'll be able to get some things. We're just not going to be able to go up there and say, this is it, cut and dry, and if you don't vote for it this way, then we're not going to go along with anything. So we lose on that deal. So be a good listener and building consensus. So got to make some friends.